it on.
Yeah.
We're down to about 20 seconds on the official clock. I go by the one that everybody can see here.
Right.
Well, did you hear the whistle go off like a minute before we started our meeting at 5?
Does not, it's always that one, if it's a minute or two.
No?
1 minute behind.
Okay. We will call this regular city council meeting for the Palmer City Council to order for December 12th at 6:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, if you call the roll, please.
Deputy Mayor Anzalotti, Councilmember Cooper,
Present.
Councilmember Best,
Here.
Councilmember Tudor,
Here.
Mayor Carrington,
Here.
Councilmember Moline, Councilmember Alcantara.
Here.
And as I mentioned at the last meeting, Councilmember Moline and Deputy Mayor Anzalotti texted in sick. So if it's okay with everyone, we'll give them a excused absence. And next is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could all rise, and Sabrina Combs, could I ask you to lead us in the pledge? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the approval of the agenda, I'd actually like to edit it just a little bit. I'd like to move, we have a executive session at the end of the meeting, so I'd like to move council comments up, put them right after the first audience participation. Also to remove the swearing in for the Palmer Police, remove that for the agenda. It's gonna come up at a future meeting. And also say that I'm gonna consolidate the two audience participations into the first one. So, that's what I am suggesting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Madam Clerk, if you could call the roll, please.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh,
before it
yes.
calls it, with approval of the agenda with the changes that you made.
Yes?
But does that also approve the minutes of previous meetings, or is that a separate motion?
It approves the two,
Just the agenda, correct?
No,
it does the
consent and the
the
minute.
consent agenda as well.
Okay, but it doesn't do number two, it doesn't do the minutes of previous
No,
meetings?
I believe that's part of the consent
It's
agenda.
all of it.
Oh, it is? Well, then I'm sorry, I gotta point something out here.
So do you want to pull that from
Yeah,
the consent agenda? Okay,
yes, please, thank you.
all right. Is that okay with the second? Now, with those four items, we'll call the roll, please.
Mayor Carrington,
Yes.
Councilmember Alcantara,
Yes.
Councilmember Tudor,
Yes.
Councilmember Best,
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper.
Yes.
Okay, so next item would be the minutes from November 28th, 2023. We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second from Councilman Tudor. Is there any discussion, question? Councilman Alcantara, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was kind of frantically sliding through the minutes, and I apologize for kind of the 11th hour, but I was in the fine town of Jefferson, Texas during the last meeting. And I know for a fact that on Resolution 24001, both myself and Councilmember Cooper voted against that, and it shows it as unanimously. And also, I had made a motion, was seconded, and to delay adoption of 24001 until this meeting on December 12th. That failed on a 3-4 vote. I don't see that in here, and I don't see the 5-2 vote on the actual pay plan adoption. So unless I'm just missing it, there's a few pages, but, I'm sorry.
I think part of what happened is we did move to postpone. We got through everything else, and then we decided to reconsider the postponement.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
The postponement was only for the 3% COLA, and we did reconsider that and replaced it with a 3.25% COLA.
Correct.
But I made a motion to suspend 24001, and it was voted down 4-3, but that doesn't show in the minutes. Another thing pointed out to me, and make sure I get this here, this is just a little bit of housekeeping, but the actual minutes themselves still show Mr. Ojala on council instead of Mr. Cooper, just in the heading page.
Oh, up in the header.
Yeah, and then this is pretty, the thing that, to me, that's consequential is the 5-2 vote not to adopt the pay plan and the 3-4 vote not to delay it till today. Less remarkable is just the old heading paper and the fact under council comments, I thanked Councilmember Moline for the $1,000 bonus and COLA increase that she put forth for the employees of Palmer. That's just a zeros missing on that. So I want to make sure that these things that serve as the permanent record reflect exactly what occurred that day.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Best.
can we just postpone these minutes till the next meeting and allow the clerk's office to
Let's,
take her?
okay. Madam Clerk.
I think it would be beneficial if we just let us fix them, because we know what you're talking about. I definitely know what you're talking about and what's missing. And this is the first time that we've done them in the new system, so we can transfer stuff over, so that's just
Oh,
like
that's right.
cut and
We have a
paste
new
there,
system.
basically. And Ojala, well, that's just
Okay.
cut and
Okay.
paste. So if you're okay with that, I'm happy to fix those for you.
And, yeah, and then if we could ask if you could just go ahead and email the fixed ones to all the council members, just so we can see it. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. So we're ready to vote on the minutes as amended?
Question,
Yes, Councilman Best.
if we're just going to be considering these Scribner's errors, then why even go through the process of us approving them at each time versus us having it presented to us again to make sure that there's not any further errors instead of us just punting and just letting it just happen and voting on it, because I will vote no right now.
Okay, Councilman Alcantra.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I'm understanding, Councilmember Best just wanting to delay approval of the November 28th minutes until January 9th, I'm okay with that solution as well.
Well, we can't do that without a motion. That's a hint.
So move.
Second,
So it's been moved and seconded to postpone the approval of the minutes till
January 9th.
January 9th.
Yeah, point of order or question, please.
Yes, Councilman Cooper.
I thought that we already had a motion to approve those, or maybe we didn't have one to approve the changes that Councilman Alcantra made, and the clerk said that that could happen, or we did not have a motion.
No, we had a motion,
So now we
but
have.
there's,
so
now there's a motion to postpone till January 9th. Any more clarification questions? We realize, so we're gonna be voting on postponing approval of the minutes to January 9th.
That's what we're voting on right now.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Madam Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Councilmember Cooper,
No,
Councilmember Best,
Yes.
Councilmember Tudor,
Yes.
Mayor Carrington,
Yes.
Councilmember Alcantra.
Yes,
4-1.
Okay, so those are postponed. Next, we don't have any communication and appearance request. Report, city manager's report.
Good evening, just briefly tonight. Thank you very much for your approval of the 2024 budget. And this allows us to get ready for this upcoming year. And just want you to be informed that we are already working on our task for the reviewing all job descriptions and how they fit into our system. And we'll move straight away and meet the deadline, I think, with time to spare. Thank you. That's all I have for tonight.
Okay. Any questions of our manager? Just note, thank you for your letter of telling us that you're working till June 17th, and then you're done. Councilman Alcantara.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was gonna save that for, council member comments, but, can I, address this now? Talk about the letter, or?
Well, it's about his
Yeah.
report. I was just thanking
Okay.
him for it, but we can,
Well, thank you, I appreciate it.
comments is not far away.
Yeah, well, I just want to say that I must have been thinking of the gentleman to my right when he used the word esteemed, so I appreciate glomming onto your coattails as usual, Josh. Incredibly well-written letter, you know, blown away by the long tenure and career that Mr. Musi has had. I really appreciate him giving us 6 months to right our ship and get somebody in here. I hope that we're able to get somebody on board sometime in May so that they can spend a month kind of learning some things from our current city manager. And I just wanted to say that I appreciate the letter. It's going to be a sad day in June, but hopefully it'll be over a Matsu Miners game and a you know, Miner dog and a beer out there at the ballpark. So thank you, sir.
All right, next is mayor's report. So there's a written report, and then also on the table was, I didn't have time to ask permission from the council, but I got invited to participate in the South Central Mayors Energy Coalition. Basically, they're getting a coalition of mayors together just to talk through issues with natural gas issues. And well, you can read it and we can decide in January if you want me to continue to participate or not. And is there any questions for me for my report then? Okay. City clerk's report.
I'm requesting from the council a motion or no objection to canceling the December 26th meeting.
Okay. Does anyone want to meet on December 26th?
No objection.
So no objection, we will cancel the December 26th council meeting.
Thank you.
City attorney's report.
Just a couple things on my end. I attended the Alaska Municipal Attorneys Association and discussing things with my colleagues around the state. And then we've been working on, continued working on the various departmental and admin issues, including the briefing that I'll be giving you later this evening, as well as things are progressing with the various lawsuits and litigation going forward. No new updates with that for the city. And as a personal note, I will be calling in on the January 9th meeting. I'll be out of state for the holidays.
Okay. Any questions of our attorney from the council? Okay. Next, we have audience participation, and I should remind everyone, right after audience participation, I moved the council comments because we have an executive session at the end of the meeting, so wanting to get it consolidated. And also, since I was in a consolidating mood, I consolidated the two audience participations to be this one that we have coming up here right now. So we'll open audience participation, and I believe Sabrina Combs was listed first.
Hello. Really quick. All right, hello, welcome. My name is Sabrina Holmes from Manusco Electric Association in this lot.
Try, it's on the bottom. Yeah, hold it for a few seconds. Try now. Or, there we
There we
go.
go. Hi, Serena Combs from Matanuska Electric Association. I am pleased to be here tonight to present your capital credit check this year. MEA retired $3.2 million this year. Our board of directors decided to retire all of the remaining dollars in the 1988 Capital Credit Fund. And the City of Palmer's share was $18,034.49. And so we would just like to thank you for being MEA members and present this check to the City of Palmer, which you can spend however you'd like. But probably not all in one place.
Okay, and
There is an
the manager,
actual
I think.
real
will-
check, and I will point out that it says Nathan Wallace or Gina Davis, so somebody hasn't updated the membership in quite some time. So also feel free to do that, and we can help you with that. Yes.
2,600 square feet.
You could send it to Nate Wallace.
Great, thank you.
Nope, she's not here. Okay. Audience participation.
Okay, Wesley Arts, Palmer Bar. During the holiday Christmas, we actually gave out 15 gallons of hot cocoa,
15
which is a ton, a lot of hot cocos. But that's not why I'm here. Why I'm here, I was woke up on Friday at 8:10 a.m. by a phone call from my manager stating the bar was going to get fined $2,000 if we didn't shovel the snow in the street back onto the sidewalk. And by 9 o'clock a.m. My manager seemed very, very intimidated by this whole scenario. So the first thing that went through my mind is we, the city of Palmer, we have code enforcement now. As I headed to the bar, I became more upset. There was no written notice. Was the city official making these numbers up? Was he appointed as a code enforcement? Or was he taking it on himself? Is he self-appointed? I haven't seen any fee or fine schedule. So is he making these numbers up to intimidate me and my business? It's not very professional for a city official to do this. Usually there is some sort of written notice. None of the business owners or anything, several of us were blindsided by this on Friday morning, that someone was going around telling us this. No written notice, no communication with the business or the property owners. And then the other big one that was going through my head as I was thinking this, who else took this as a threat? Because I did. Because you just don't come after them and go, we're fining you $2,000. And that's the question I have for you. Has the city informed any of the business and the property owners? As a business owner, I want viable solutions here. Right now, I am currently, per what City Works wants me to do, I'm currently building a berm out in front of my business. At what he wants me to do. On the sidewalk, making a hazard between the sidewalk and the street parking. I've already dealt with customers complaining about it because there is now a hazard that they have to climb over to get from the street to the bar. I'm curious, when will the city remove this hazard? Or are we just gonna leave it there? And if we are, who is legally responsible for this? That is something I'm putting there at the city's request. I do have a page of solutions, but we don't have the whole 4 minutes, like as you did it, and that I was saving for the next time. But we are willing to work with the city, and the property owners.
And I'd like to get a copy of that.
Oh,
Okay.
of
Of your ideas, yeah.
okay, and we just are willing to work with us, work with you guys. We want to have a presentation that sits it down where he can explain where he wants the snow moved, how it's gonna do, when the city is gonna remove it from the spot. So that's what I'm asking from you, kind of like the vagrancy issue, that we are meeting with the business owners to have an opportunity to meet with everyone to fix this. I'm probably the only one that's showing up today. There's Klondike Mike there, but there's several of us that are kind of worked up about this. And we just want a big meeting to sit down and try to figure it out. Because we have business insurance that we have to deal with also. But thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Jackie Goforth. And if you've been listening to me any time in the past few months, you will know that I'm here to talk about the library books. And the fact that there are library books in the Palmer Library now that have obscene levels of sexuality in them. Now, I don't know if the leftist, progressive liberals who are pushing this agenda and pushing this material into libraries are aware of this, but I have read the 1917 Lenin documents, and I have read the Marxist strategy. And I do realize that one of them is to accuse the opposition of what you are doing as you do it. Okay? So, I've been accused now of violating people's First Amendment rights. I've been accused of violating their First Amendment rights to read what they want to. But the policy that's put in place by libraries in order for me to redress a grievance is a petition to redress a grievance. That is set up and weaponized to the extent that it is violating my right. I also was actually reprimanded by a mayor for saying that I was trying to take away the rights of parents to what their parents can read. I was trying to take away from parents their rights to get what their children want to read. Well, let me explain to you what happened at the Alaska Library Association meeting in March. This is from Fairbanks Borough Librarian Davin Helkenberg. She extolled the necessity of sex-themed books for the youths, 12 years old and older. It's meant to teach lessons about sex and relationships for the reader to carry that information away and incorporate it into their lives. It's a gentle gateway into the world of queer sex, non-heterosexual sex, how to perform certain sexual acts, etc. Now, for conservative families, these sexualized novels that we push are a kind of safe and secret source for the kids. They're not as obvious as a nonfiction book on sexuality. That means the parents won't question the reading of the material. This information that they're pushing is hidden within. Now, who is violating parents' rights here? Who? Accuse the opposition of what you're doing while you're doing it. Now, for the next few months, you're going to be hearing librarians and people who are defending this come up, and they will all be very wonderful and cheerful and happy and tell you how wonderful, cheerful, and happy they are and how much they love children. Because that's how you flip the script. One of the cities in this borough has actually moved the entire section to adult. They said so, they didn't really, they just labeled it. Nobody even complained, you know why? Because now they say, there's no way to make me happy. There's no way to make this person happy. We moved the whole department and she still isn't happy. They didn't move anything, they just put a big sign on it that basically says to a teenager, hey look, the porn's over here. That's what happened. And I will not back down. I will not stop. I will be relentless because there is a law. It's Miller versus California, 1973, and obscenity is not protected speech under the First Amendment. Period. I hear it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor, you're combining both sessions. Do we get extra time then or just 3 minutes?
My hope was to get through fast, but, so I was thinking 3 minutes, but.
All right, I think I can do it. My name is Karen Lewis and I've lived here for just under 40 years. I'm not a naive person by any stretch, but I call me surprised when I found out earlier this year that they have these kind of books in there. And I don't know if you've read the excerpts, but you should at least do that. I wouldn't read the whole thing because it's not worth it, but you should know what's in them. You should read the excerpts. And if you need a list of the books, you can I can get you. I can give you a list. Oh. Can I have a timeout?
Pause.
So at this Alaska Library Association meeting, there were talking about drag queens and gender fluidity, sex-themed youth books, and difficulties with conservative parents. Those were the topics. At the 3-day gathering, the librarians were also taught how to decolonize their book collections while improving access gender and queer-based history books. That sounds odd to me, but that's what they were learning how to do. And there are more than 500 community and school libraries throughout Alaska. And the decision to focus on advancing leftist social ideologies during the 2023 conference comes at a time when libraries across the nation are facing immense controversy surrounding left-leaning programming and sexual books targeted to children. So this is happening all over the nation. I'm sure you know that. There are governors, I did some research, and there are governors getting involved in trying to stop it. There are legislators getting involved in trying to stop it. Here we're getting the assembly, the city councils, and the school board already has their own committee, but we need people that have a moral compass looking at these books before they're even shelved. By allowing these young children to see these books, their innocence is being stolen. It is molesting their mind. And I don't understand why almost all the librarians think this way. I haven't met one that didn't. They seem nice, they're very soft, talk softly and nice and sweet and smile. But they want these books to be on their shelves. Why would anybody want pornography to be on their shelves? Not a good agenda. So during one workshop by Fairbanks librarian David Hellenberg, she urged people to push back against the parents who objected to sexualized children's books. She stated that fiction is meant to teach lessons about sex and relationships. Everything I've read so far talks about one-night stands, sex for pleasure's sake, and that's it, not about what it was intended to. S&M, in fact, one librarian said she wants to put more sadomasochistic books in there. Why would a librarian want to put that in front of children? And why are these children who are 14, or why are they labeled young adults? There are a lot of questions here. But one thing for sure, these books are filth, and they need to be dealt with. And we need to get our legislature involved, the governor involved, our attorney general jumped in, mayors, city councils, assembly. Everybody needs to protect the children. There's no question about it.
Sorry, that's your time.
Okay. So, help, okay? Will you help, please?
As I say, for anyone who feels cut off, I'll give you my card so we can set up a meeting where we can talk about things at more length. Anyone else for audience participation? For those that missed it, I consolidated the audience participation, so this is the first and last one for this meeting. Okay. All right, we will close audience participation. Next is council comments. Councilman Best, do you want to start?
I'm good.
Okay, Councilman Tudor?
Mr. Mayor. I just want to say how impressed I was with Colony Christmas. I mean, it was an amazing event. There was just so much going on. It was incredible. I just want to say thank you to everyone that was involved with Colony Christmas this year. I was telling Sabrina how I heard multiple people when I was kind of wandering around during the parade that said that Palmer looks like a Hallmark movie. I think that's a really good testament, and it's going to really drive people here because they're going to show up in Palmer for this event, going to see how beautiful this town is, how amazing the people are. They're going to go to the restaurants and shops and bars and this experience what makes Palmer so great. And I think this is a really good outreach to get people just to really see what Palmer is and to feel about it the same way that we do. Thank you.
Councilman Alcantara.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Right along with what Mr. Tudor has to say, the Parade of Lights and the Colony Christmas thing was phenomenal, as usual. I appreciate Sabrina Combs' work on it and everybody else that works to make that happen. Job Corps, after 3 straight years of winning the grand prize, fell to 3rd this year. So we got our work cut out for us. I don't know, there was like 40 horses. It was hard to beat the equestrian group. They had quite a thing going on, but it was picture postcard stuff. It was 16 degrees, light snow, no wind, so the little inflatables weren't blowing around, and it really was phenomenal. So I did lose my only game of cribbage by 2 points, but other than that, it was great. Other than that, it was a great weekend. So I wanted to say that a bunch of us, not this guy, but a bunch of us attended Alaska Municipal League last week, and really great learning process. Even for me, I spent a lot of years and decades in Juneau, but this was a great gathering of local elected officials, and really good opportunity to meet people from other communities. And it wasn't, Palmer was definitely well represented, but I think there was, according to Niels, who runs that place, there was over 500 people there. So it was quite a gathering of people from Western Alaska, Northern Alaska, Southeast, all over the place. So it was really, really good to learn from them. I certainly wish for better health for Deputy Mayor Ancelotti and Councilmember Moline. I hope they're fine by the time we get back here on January 9th. I just want to say happy holidays to all my fellow members and all the folks that come out here and keep us honest and testify in front of council. So hope you all have a great holiday season, and see you back here in 2024.
Councilman Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to go along with the Palmer Bar folks. When I owned a business in town, there's a problem with snow removal by the owners. I was fortunate that I had space on either side of my building that I could deposit the snow. Although the majority of the folks that live or have businesses down Alaska Street don't have that opportunity. And it does make it very difficult for them to, when the rule is you can't put it out in the street. I don't think that, we wouldn't allow flamethrowers out there either, probably, for them to melt it. So something definitely has to be, done, and at a minimum looked at, to see how we can help those folks. The AML thing was interesting. It was long and involved. Great food. I think I ate more there, with the lunches and the dinners over the 3 days than I did in a month. But on another positive note, it was good to see a lot of old friends that have been in city government for a long time. And on a positive note is, as you know, Councilman Bess is our representative on District 4, and I am currently now on the board of directors as well as past president of AML. So now we have 2 folks that represent Palmer anyway. And so that's maybe a good thing. And I too I'm out of town until the end of the month, and so everybody have a happy holidays, and we'll see you in 2024.
All right. Yes, congratulations on becoming part of the board for AML. And we're almost to going into executive session, but it will take a few minutes to hand out cards to anyone who wants to maybe set up a time to chat, or maybe set up a meeting for those interested in snow removal. All right, there's no public hearings, no action memorandum, no unfinished business, no new business. Record of items placed on the table. Madam Clerk?
A letter from Manager Musi.
And this one.
Oh. South Central Mayor's Energy Coalition Mission Statement document.
Okay. All right, next is executive session, matters the immediate knowledge of which would clearly have an adverse effect on the finances of the government unit. Palmer Visitor Information Center contract. We need a motion to go in, and I would say that attending the council will be the Madam Attorney and Mr. Manager. Councilman Cooper.
I move we move into executive session.
Second.
Second. Madam Clerk, you want to call the roll, please?
Councilmember Tudor.
Yes.
Mayor Carrington.
Yes.
Councilmember Alcantara.
Yes.
Councilmember Best.
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll take a few minutes here to get ready.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, what?
Benji is emailing something to you that has to do with the executive session, so check your emails.
Okay.
Thanks.